Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I will talk about the beings around us, the nature, plants, and the animals that we see around us. We are not aware, but in our education system, we were raised to believe that everything happens by means of causes or by themselves. So when, for example, when a butterfly comes into existence, it's a perfect art, but we just believe that this happened because of some causes. Even in the beginning, there was Big Bang, and it triggered another thing, and that's how things go. But interestingly, Imam Nursi, in his interpretation of the Quran, he says that beings exist, right? No one can deny this beauty, right? This butterfly, for example, no one can deny it exists. And each being comes into existence in a wise and artistic fashion. Again, no one can say that this is not beautiful, right? It's a beautiful art that we see in front of our eyes. And each being is continuously renewed. And this doesn't happen like once, but it keeps happening every spring. We see that. And Imam Nursi, he gives an analogy for us to understand. He says, imagine there is a pharmacy in which there are hundreds of jars, and for example, imagine a laboratory and there are scientists, and there are jars filled with quite different substances, and a medicine is required from those substances. So scientists are getting together the substances in the jars, and they are producing medicines, right? And so we go to the pharmacy and see that they are to be found there in abundance, yet in great variety. There are many kinds of substances, and the scientists get them together. And we examine each of the potions and see that the ingredients have been taken in varying but precise amounts from each of the jars. Precise amounts. 1 ounce from this, 3 from that, 7 from the next, and so on. If 1 ounce too much or too little had been taken, the medicine would not have displayed its special quality. So the scientists should have knowledge of how much are they going to take from each jar and produce the medicine. Now, although the jars number more than 50, the ingredients have been taken from each according to measures and amounts that are all different. Now, is it in any way possible jars should have been knocked over by coincidence or sudden gust of wind, and that only the precise, though different amounts that have been taken from each of them should have been spilled, and then arranged themselves and come together to form the remedy? Is it at all possible? And we see the medicine, right? And for that medicine to come into existence, we need scientists with knowledge in his field. And he needs to work, right? He needs to get together the substances. It's not possible. No one can say that it happened because of a wind happened, a wind came, a gust of wind to that medicine or to that laboratory, and it knocked over the jars and they formed the medicine. It's not possible. Is there anything more superstitious, impossible and absurd than this? There is not, right? It's for this medicine to come into existence, we need a scientist who is knowledgeable and powerful in his field. Similarly, each living being and each plant may be likened to the medicine in the comparison. Now we see this corn, this coming into existence, just like the medicine in the comparison. And this corn, for example, can be likened to the medicine in the comparison, for they are composed of matter that has been taken in most precise measure from truly numerous and truly various substances. For that corn to come into existence, we see that in that corn such substances that in precise amounts. If these are attributed to causes and elements, and it is claimed causes created this, it is unreasonable, impossible, and absurd 100 times over. Just as it was to claim that the potion in the pharmacy came into existence through the phials being knocked over by accident. Now we see this corn and the corns like this all over the world. in this vast pharmacy of the universe. Now let's imagine the universe as a pharmacy, and every being is like the medicine. The whole universe is like the pharmacy, and each being, each animal, each plant, and even each human being is like a medicine, measured on the scales of divine determining and decree of the all-wise and pre-eternal one, can only come into existence through a boundless wisdom, infinite knowledge, and an all-encompassing will. Now we talked about the medicine in the comparison, and if you compare any medicine in the world with the corn, for example, the corn, no one can come up with this corn. It's so amazing art that no one can even come close to that. For that corn to come into existence and for that substances to form, we need an infinite knowledge and all-encompassing will. And God, when Allah does that, He employs His infinite knowledge and all-encompassing will and power, and with His divine determining, He brings all living beings into existence.